You
This
can
conference will
see
now be recorded.
Kanchana, Nutan, and Tejasri. I'm not sure others are joining. Let's wait one more minute. Okay. Okay. I can see Srinivas is also joined. Okay, let's get started. We have a couple of folks to start session. So yesterday we started sorry. So yesterday we started with the product configuration attributes, if I remember correctly. Okay. So yeah, thanks, Nathan. So if we started on the configuration attribute, we discussed like we created one of the configuration attribute on the bundle, which we displayed on the bundle label. So let's say shipping country, right? Shipping country we created. So if you go to the Norton antivirus bundle, and if I go to the related list, or I think we created mechanical bundle as well for your batch. So let me go with the specific bundle. So if I go to the related list, I just want to recap first 1 minute on what we discussed yesterday. What's happening? Okay, so we created one of the configuration attribute here yesterday, and that configuration attribute is actually displayed for particular feature, and that particular feature we are displaying the shipping country. So user can select US, India, Australia, whatever they want, and based on that we want to drive some logic which will be part of our Monday session. So today we are still discussing on the, so we discussed yesterday, if you gone through the recording who was not there, so yesterday we discussed this first part, and today we are going to start with the global attribute, right? So as I mentioned, what is the difference between these two attributes, configuration attribute and global attribute? Global attribute are not tied to a single bundle, right? You only have to define their name and target field, and you will use the attribute set and product attribute set to associate them in your option. So how we can read this? Configuration attribute is specific to your bundle. Global attribute is not specific to your bundle. You can use outside. So global attribute is specific to your product option. So let's take example. Uh, let's say, for example, I have two bundles. So for example, I have this is my bundle one, right? So I have bundle 1 with the product option 1, product option 2, right? For example, I'm giving, I have similar setup here, but another bundle, right? So I have bundle 2 with product option 1. I will say product option 1, but inside the another bundle, right? So this is one bundle, this is another bundle. Now I am saying I created a configuration attribute and global attribute. I'm just saying here, just using shortcut. Configuration attribute, if I created for this, for example, configuration attribute 1, this will be only applicable to bundle 1. It cannot be accessed inside bundle 2. But if I created global attribute, for example, global attribute 1, you are associating global attribute to, sorry, configuration attribute to bundle. So it's not assigned to the, so it's assigned to your bundle, right? But if you think on the configuration global attribute is assigned to your product options. It's not assigned to your bundle. That's the reason you can use same global attribute here as well. So same thing like you can use here as well, right? So you can use the global attribute, same global attribute inside the another bundles product option. So basically, global attribute is something which is related to product option inside any bundle. It's not restricted to have specific bundle or specific product option. So it can be associated with any product option irrespective of what is my bundle. That is how globally accessible. That is the main purpose of global attribute. How to create that? Yesterday we discussed how to create configuration attribute. Similarly, you need to select global attribute here, or you can create global attribute from here as well. So if you select here configuration attribute, and if you go to this icon and if you search by configuration attribute, you can create from anywhere, right? If you can create from bundle, or you can create from here. So if you can create global attribute here, right? So what you need to do, you need to create global attribute here. I selected just global attribute, and it's very simple setup. What I will do, I will say test global attribute. What is the date today? I will just mention 10, right? And you need to select target field. We have shipping country. As I mentioned yesterday, you can create your target field on product option object, right? Whatever you want to create, you can create there. Yesterday we created shipping country. Similarly, you can create another field. Let me go to setup, right? Whatever the product, because we are dealing with product option, right? So how you should think, where I am, right? I am on product option. I want to display those, associate global action to product option, global attribute to product option. Then I should create field on product option, right? You should not go to the any other field. This is how you should think. So if you go to the product option, that should be your target field. That can be copied to your code line as well. We can discuss as part of twin field concept. So if you go to the product option object, where I am, right, and on product option object, you can create your own field. I will discuss like whatever I created here, but you can, I don't want to waste time to create just fields. So if you go to the fields and relationship, so what is my use case? Let me explain you use case, then you will understood what I'm trying to say, right? So my use case is, for example, I have one bundle. Okay, inside that bundle, this is for example one product option and this is another product option. So few product options, they have their own service time. Okay, you want to store, if you purchasing this product option too, the service start time will be 9 a.m. IST, and you can enter service end time as well. So you can create both the global data. I will say service time. You can store your data. I mean, just for to send this data to end customer, you need to store that data. So service time, service start time actually. So right. So service start time. You can create your own global attribute for storing service start time, and you can create another attribute to store service end time. So this way you can track, because if you are selling product, obviously you are selling that with the services. There can be some service product, and I'm just giving example. They can give you some other examples as well, real-time example as in the assignment. But for now, I will say service time will be stored inside the product option. So whatever the product option I'm selecting, for example, if I selected mechanical, and if I am saying like I want to select this product option and I want to define their service time here, how you can define this is configuration attribute, it's bundle level or feature level. But if I want to define the product option level, product option level attributes, I don't have an option here. This is for feature and the bundle. So what I need to do, you need to create field on product option with the service time. You can click new, you can create your own field whatever you want. Right now I want date field, that is service time. You can click next. This is the admin part, so you can enter like service time whatever you want, right? So this way, and you can store, you take the API name of that and you can click next. So this way you can create field. I already created that field, so I will show you that field itself instead of wasting time. So if you see service time, this is the field I created, same API name with the date time as a data type. So if I copy that API name, and where you want to select that service time, on configuration attribute, right? So on the configuration attribute, you need to add new pick list value with the service time. Similarly, yesterday I added shipping country, right? So you need to go to the configuration attribute object, you need to go to this target field pick list and add the API name whatever you want. That's it, and then you can save. This is how you can create global attribute. It is the first step. If I save that, it will save, right? So my global attribute is ready. But what I did here, only target field is created. If you compare with the configuration attribute, we have target field, row order, where you, how you want to display, which feature you want to display. That is the thing we need to populate for the configuration attribute. But if you think on global attribute, it's very simple setup. I mean, just need to give the target field, but there are few other setup. Let me go back to step and we'll explain. So we created one field on product option. We added that new pick list value on the target field of configuration attribute object, and then you need to create configuration attribute that we created. These are the three very simple steps. The third step is, let's say you have three global attribute. As I mentioned, this is my first global attribute, service start date. This is my first global attribute. I can have another global attribute to store the service end time, right? So I can have two attributes, and both the attributes you want to display on the single product option, because I want for single product option, I can have different start time and end time. So both the attributes should be displayed there. So what you need to do, you need to create one set here, right? You need to create one attribute set here, which will have both the attributes added. So this both the attributes we can, similar to your Java, right? So you can have both the attributes added inside the set, this set, right? And this set you can assign to your product option. So this way, if I assign this set to product option, automatically both the fields will be displayed there. This is the concept of attribute set. So let me go and create attribute set. How to create attribute set? If you are ready with the global attribute, right, you can go and search your attribute set. Sorry. Okay, if you search attribute set, let's take example, right? So this is my global attribute and I have one more attribute, for example, and I want to display both the attributes on the product option. How we will achieve that? That's the thing I am explaining here. You can create your attribute set, right? Let me create new attribute set. Why it's taking time today? Maybe network connection. Okay, let me create test attribute set. I will say test attribute set, test attribute set for services, right? So I will say like that, and I will save. Nothing is there. I will save that. That's it. You created your attribute set now. Now you are ready with attribute set. Now your point, as I mentioned, I have, for example, these two attribute set. I mean attributes, global attribute. You want to assign both the attributes inside the attribute set, and that attribute set you can assign to product option, right? What you need to do, the next step you need to do once you create attribute set, you need to add attribute item to attribute set. Means if you go to the attribute set related list, you can see both the related list attribute items. So what is this attribute item? You need to add your global attributes here. So for example, if I click here new, whatever I created, what is the name of the global attribute I created? That is test global attribute 02. So you can search that configuration attribute here. not configuration attribute means global attribute. It should be global attribute. Test global attribute. Oh, it's not coming. Okay, it's already there. Test global attribute 0 to 12. This is how we created. And you can define your sequence. Why we need sequencing? Because if you have another attribute item here, right, you can go and create. As I mentioned, if I have two attribute global attribute, you can give sequence first and two, so those will be displayed there. Third thing is, like, once you're done with this set, we have this set created, and inside that set I have one global attribute now, and now I want to assign this whole attribute set to product option. As I mentioned, I have attribute set ready with all the global attribute. I can have 10 global attribute, 2 attribute, whatever you have, right? And once we are done with that, this attribute set should be assigned to product option, right? How to assign that? You should know the product name. So if you go to product option name, you should aware of which product option you want to assign this, right? So if I go to the mechanical bundle, which product attribute I want to assign, if I go to the related list, if I go to the options, so for example, I want to assign this for SLM. So let's copy this option name. As I mentioned, your attribute set should be assigned to your product options. So how to assign that? You need to go to product attribute set related list. So if you click here new, you need to give the name of product option here. So if I search by product option 007, I will get that, and I will give sequence as 1. So what we did now, we are done with the global attribute setup. Let me repeat these things. We created global attribute with service time field, which is created on product option. Then we created one of the attribute set, right? One of the attribute set which will have all the global attributes which we created. For example, global attribute 0 to 12, all the attributes item means this set will have multiple global attributes, and this set can be assigned, complete set can be assigned to your product option. You can assign product option from other bundles as well. For example, otherwise let's test this and then we'll come back. Okay, let's test this. Let me close these tabs. Okay, let me open the mechanical bundle and show you if my product option, that is 007, that is SLM basic package, should have this global attribute. Service time is global attribute. So if I selected mechanical bundle, if I select that, right, this is my SLM. So SLM, if I, sorry, it's coming zoom. Okay, so for SLM, I added that attribute, global attribute. That's the reason I can see this drop down arrow, that is minus. If I click on that, I should see service time field added here, dead time field. So here I can give my dead time, right? So this is how you can use product option level data you can store inside this particular global attribute. As I mentioned, for example, if I go ahead with another product, I assign this to mechanical bundle, right? As I mentioned, global attribute can be used outside the bundle as well. For example, if I'm saying it should be assigned to your Norton antivirus bundle, I should go to that bundle, I should go to the related list and copy the product option name. So product option name is, for example, I want to assign this to the 005. Okay, this is Norton antivirus plus. If I go here, what you need to do, if I want to assign this attribute to this option, you need to just go to attribute set and assign that attribute set to new product option, which is from another bundle. I don't care, I just need to assign that to another product option. So if I save that, if I go back, cancel this, if I go with the quick Norton antivirus bundle, not going with the mechanical, even I should see that for the name as Norton antivirus plus. So if I see Norton antivirus plus, right, so I can see this service time here, right? So the basic concept of global attribute, you can assign global attribute to product option irrespective of what is my bundle. And if you go with the configuration attribute will only be assigned to bundle and feature. Those cannot be assigned to product option. And that configuration attribute will not be available outside the bundle. That is the difference between configuration attribute and global attribute. Okay. Any questions? Okay, I can see Nutan has posted some question. Does it mean if there are more than one attribute set assigned to a product option, SF CPQ would do assignment based on sequence? That's correct. Sequence means it will decide how you want to display these things, right? Service, for example, I have 5 attributes set. So first sequence will display service time, then second sequence will display another global attribute, third sequencing will display like that, right? So let me show you one more attribute item here. So if I go and add new attribute item, I have already created one another global attribute actually. So if you go ahead with that attribute, so if I say test global attribute, all these are referring to the same. So I cannot go with that. Maybe I need to create that and will display there. Let me show you that.
Uh,
So if you go ahead.
Rahul, this is
Mhm.
Nutan. I got the answer. So it's okay. I mean, you
Okay,
don't need to create another one.
okay,
But just
yes, that's
follow-up
correct.
question on that, Rahul. So, as you said, right, based on sequencing, we can display um, global attributes, right? But
Correct.
what would happen in the scenario? Let's assume if we want to do this displaying of attribute based on some business logic. Let's say I don't want to display all the global attributes. Maybe it's based on some dynamic condition. Wherein
Hmm.
sometime I want to display, and sometime I don't want to display couple of them.
Mhm.
So how
Okay,
will implement that logic?
that scenario, I'm just thinking, but it's not possible. But let me think on that, because whatever
For
you are
example, in this
creating,
case,
if you are Mhm. Yeah, go ahead.
let's say we are displaying service start time and time. Okay,
Mhm.
and this is like if we, for example, if we also have some vacation dates, okay, one more attribute saying holidays or something like that. So
Mhm.
I want to display holiday attribute only when there's an upcoming holiday, let's say next day, or when it's applicable, not all the time.
Mhm.
So how
Yeah, I
will
got
implement?
yours. Yeah, I got your scenario, but there is no such functionality to change or drive these particular dates based. If you not enter anything, it will not stop you to save. It's not like required. So as I mentioned, this is service time, end time, and as I mentioned, holidays or anything. We cannot write the logic behind that to display the global attribute. Global
Okay, so you're
attribute will
saying it's
display
editable. It's not a mandatory thing to
mandatory.
select the value. But
Correct.
then it might confuse the salesperson, right? Sales rep, if they are seeing this screen, and because most of the time what happens is it's not grayed out, right? As in sales rep,
Yeah.
I'll assume, okay, I need to provide some data there.
Mhm. Yeah, that's correct. That's the reason, even per my understanding and my knowledge, global attribute cannot be driven just on your logic. If you assign that global attribute to product option, those will be displayed. That's the reason they are not like global attribute will not display like this. You need to click on this particular arrow and then the invisible part or all these things will be displayed, right? So it should not confuse to sales rep, and it will not stop you to proceed. But to answer your question, as per my knowledge, like there is no setting to drive global attribute based on some logic. So for example, my quote is for US, right? So in that case, I don't have any service provided there. So in that case, I cannot hide these particular things service time. I can hide complete product, but I cannot hide global attribute. To hide the product, as I explained in selection product rule, we have that concept. But to hide global attribute, I don't see any logic or anything there. And even that is not possible because we don't have any option. Even on the global attribute, we don't have that such field to hide that particular global attribute based on some conditions. Right?
Hmm.
We don't have any field. We only have test target field. That's it. You created
Thank you.
configuration attribute. And on the attribute set as well, you can see we can only giving the name, and in the related list we are giving items and then displaying on that particular product. So we don't have extra field which will drive based on some your dynamic logic or anything else, as per my
Mhm.
understanding. But that's good scenario, but I don't think it is supported by Salesforce CPQ.
Mhm. Okay, thanks. I think
Still
in this
on that
case, as you said, probably that's the reason they are keeping it invisible, I'll say, not hidden directly. But
Exactly. But you can configuration attribute you can make mandatory, as I explained yesterday. But global attribute you cannot make mandatory. Even you don't have option to make this mandatory for selection. You don't have that option. But configuration attribute you have that option. You cannot proceed. Right now I can proceed because I don't see that red line here. But if you made that attribute mandatory on configuration
there
attribute
would be
level,
a
you
headline
can make
and
that.
then. Mm, mm. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Any more questions? Anyone? Okay. Yeah, that's it for global attributes. You can read, I mean, all these things I explained and how to create that. Everything is in PPT. So don't worry. You need to just follow those steps. That's the reason I'm focusing more on PPTs. I intentionally created those steps and added those steps because if you're after 1 month or 2 months, if you want to test this functionality, you will have most of the things in the PPT. Only in the PPT we don't have is field level logic. The important field I have added those PPT, but like simple field, feed and checkbox or all these things, I have not added those. You can go through Google as well for that, and you will get the explanation there as well if you forgot on that particular scenario. Okay. Okay. So I just want to go ahead with the product rule concept that is very important, and even that is the automation tool which we can use to change your logic based on the whatever you are doing. And what is this product rules? These are the rules. As a CPQ developer, you need to configure those rules. Maybe you got requirement from customer that if you are selecting product A but you are not selecting product B, otherwise forget about that scenario. Let's take one real-time scenario. If you are selecting one product and that product you are giving more than 50% discount, it will alert you like why you are giving this discount. It should go through approval. Are you ready to go with the approvals, with PPA approval, finance approval, legal approval? If you say okay, then it will move forward. It will just alert you that you are doing something wrong on the product selection. That is the product rule. So we have different types of product rule. These are the 4 types of product rules. First is alert. Alert means, as I explained now, if you are giving more than 50% discount, it will just alert you like you are doing something wrong. I am just alerting you, but I am not stopping you. If you are okay, you can continue. But if you take second example, validation product rule, that is the second type of product rule. It's saying, I will completely stop you because you're 100% wrong here, right? You're doing something wrong. And that's the point. I am giving hard stop to you. You cannot proceed with this, right? Selection, I'm just giving scenario explanation, but I will go with the one-on-one exam. Every example we will go. Then there is selection product rule. Selection product rule means, if you remember, as part of option constraint, if you remember, there are 2 types of option constraint. One is dependency option constraint, another is exclusion option constraint, right? There we decided to go ahead with the product rules. If there are multiple combinations, product 1 can be visible if it is product 2 is selected. If there are different selection process, that is the selection product rule. You can mention your different scenario. If you have 100 products and you have combination of the product, if you selected product 1, then product 2 will be selected, product 2 is selected, then product 4 is selected, product 4 is selected, then product 8 is selected, this product is disabled, this will be hidden, this will be based on your US country and all these things, right? As we discuss as part of option constraint. If you selected configuration attribute as US, then only you can select these many products. If you selected India, those will be hidden. These types of combinations and all these things we can handle with the help of selection rule. And the last is filter. Filter is specific to dynamic bundle. There is dynamic bundle concept in CPQ. So filter means whenever you are actually loading the screen, you want to filter the products based on some existing criterias. So it's like filter, right? Your product family should be hardware. Your product is should be eligible to sell for US. So these types of filters are there. We will discuss, but filter rules are basically used for dynamic bundle, which we can discuss later on. This is the high level idea. These are the 4 types of product rule. but let me start with alert product rule at least, and you will understood like what I am trying to say. So at least we will discuss all the fields from product rule, and then we have multiple PPTs here. I mean, all these PPT, product rule field, product action field. So let's start with alert and discuss all the fields, and then we can come back. Okay. Let me go to product rule here, right? So if I close this, I can see product rule is here. So if you don't find here, you can just directly search here product rule. Even anything if you are not able to search there, you can search here product rules, right? This is the new concept. So there is different product rules you can create. If you click on new, you will get this screen to create product rule, right? So you can give your product rule name here, right? And you can have these 4 types here as I explained there: alert rule, validation rule, selection rule, and filter rule. So we are discussing on alert, then we'll go back to selection and then filter and then all these things. So alert product rule, you can make this active and you can give the product rule name. Maybe for example, if you want to give test demo alert, right? So if I have this rule, you can create that rule and then you have this condition made. What is this condition made? We'll come back to that. I think I discussed or not discussed, I think, because this is the first time we are doing customization by using product rule or price rule. So condition means you can define all your conditions as well when you want to fire this particular product rule. I will say all right now. When you come back and explain all, both the phases, you can write down your message. You are doing something, whatever you want to pass message. You cannot apply more than 50% discount. Otherwise, you need to go ahead, you need to approve this, whatever you want to write, right? So you can give the message, what you message you want to display there as an alert message, what alert you want to mention there. And this is the evaluation order. Evaluation order means, let's say in your company you have 100 product rules created based on different things. I will explain that how to create, why we need 100 or 200. In my company, we have 150 or almost 150 product rule created for to handle this alert, validation, selection, and filter for each and every scenario. So that is the evaluation order. Evaluation order means how you want to run this product rule. If I have 100 product rule, with the evaluation order one, it will be run first, then second, third. That is the in short execution order. Then there is one more field, scope. What is this scope? There are 2 types of scope. One is quote and one other is product. So what is this product? Let's discuss. When you are on configure product screen, if you want to fire alert, it's here itself. When you click on save, or if you are editing quantity, right? At this time, you want to run the product rule, and if you want to apply product rule here, you have this button as well. If you want to apply product rule, it will run all product rules here, and it will display the error message or alert and selection everything here, instead of going and saving that and then coming back, right? So you can run the product rules on this configuration product screen. That means scope product. That means it will run here itself. If it is scope is code, if scope is code, that means when you save that, right? I will cancel everything, but uh, when you save that code, right? Then this, once we save that code, then and then your product rule will fire. So this is your code. Scope is code means it will fire here. If I change quantity and if I click on quick save or save, it will fire all the product rules. And if I have scope as product, then it will fire on the previous screen. Correct? That is the configure product screen. That is the scope. So most of the times you should do all this scope of the product is should be product, because this is product rule. So you're doing something around the product, right? You are not going outside the product. So most of the time you should not select code. You can select if you want to fire all these things here. Once you save, final save, it will stop you, it will alert you, it will selection, all this will happen here. But if you want to display all these things on the configure product screen, you can select product here. Then there is evaluation event. I'm discussing all the fields. That's my intention every time. This is how I am teaching everywhere, because you should understand all the fields and then we'll come back and explain you how it will work now. Okay, what is this evaluation event? Evaluation event is load, edit, save, and always. What it means? Evaluation scope is product, but what is evaluation event? When I cancel this, when I'm loading the screen, if I click, it's loading, first time loading, right? So that is your first part, that is loading. When you want to run this product rule, that is a loading, that is event when you want to load. If I selected edit, when I'm editing anything here, for example, on product screen, if I'm on product screen, for example, anywhere, like even on code screen or product screen, if you are editing anything, for example, if I editing this quantity to 12, if I click outside, immediately it will run the price rule. Don't need to go to the save and all these things. Once you change anything and click in the outside this box, it will run. Whenever you're editing, it will run this particular product. If I selected save, it means like it will not run on edit. Whenever you click on save button, then and then your product rule will run and it will fire. Then last type is always. Always means every time when you are loading, when you are editing, and when you are saving, all the time your product rule will be fired. That is the evaluation event. These are the very important fields. And then lookup related fields are there. This is the query which we can discuss as part of selection product rule. So don't worry about how. There is one query actually, as I mentioned maybe in the demo session. We can query data in Salesforce. As I mentioned in CPQ, we have multiple combination. Product will be visible, this will be disabled, this will be enabled, this will be hidden, this will be disabled. All these combinations are there. How to query those combinations from Excel? I mean, Excel means which object you inserted. So that is the lookup query. We'll come back to that as part of selection product rules. So I will save that. I already have this all these things on one of the product rules, so I will open that instead of saving that every time. So this is the rule I created, so I will activate. So I will have all the setting alert. I'm having message as you are doing something wrong. So you are doing something wrong and all. So product always. So all these things, whatever we discussed, I am saving this record. Now the point is, when you want to run this particular product rule, there should be some condition. Every time it should not be running. Otherwise your performance will be decreased, right? What is the condition to run this particular product rule? You need to go to related list and there is error conditions when you want to run this particular product rule, right? So if I click new, you can give your error condition here. For example, you want to check field from quote line group object, product option, configuration attribute, upgrade. As I mentioned, configuration attribute we will be using. If it is US, I want to run this product rule. I will be coming back to that scenario, but let's take one simple scenario first. So let's say like I have one error condition that will check your, for example, I'm just giving an example that unit price. For example, your product options unit price equals to value 15. Any product option, I'm just giving example, it's not a real-time example, but this unit price is standard field. You can give anything here, whatever you want. So if you want to test anything from quote object, you can select quote object, that is tested object, and the tested field means the field from this particular object, right? So if I selected product option right now, I want to check product option, that is this product option, any product option with the $15, right? So product option field name is unit price equals to operator. These are the are not equal to all this operator, and filter type is value and 15. So if your unit price is $15, then and then this particular price rule will, so product rule will run. We'll come back, we'll explain all these other fields, but right now my condition is your product options unit price should be $15. So if I save that, this is my error conditions. If I go back, this demo alert, this is my product rule. I can have another condition as well here. That condition is taking your payment term equals to value 30, net 30, right? So what it is checking your quotes payment term, right? When you go to the code, you can check any value. That's this I'm giving two example here. If you go to the code, you can check any field from here. I'm checking payment term field. So what is my payment term? Net 30. So if your payment term quote object you selected and your tested field is payment term, your payment term equals to net 30, then run this particular product rule. So, and let me go back to alert, and let's say I have these two conditions, right? 1 and 2, two conditions are there. I want to check 1 or 2. Any one of these condition is true, then and then run your price rule. What you need to do, you need to go ahead. That's the reason I'm coming back to explain this condition mate. So if it is all, it means you have two condition, error condition. Those will be in and condition. All means all the conditions, error conditions should be true to run this particular product rule. So 1 and 2, it is all. If it is any, it means any one condition from the error condition is true, run that price rule, product rule, sorry. We have two error conditions, so 1 or 2. And if you have multiple custom, for example, that's the reason advanced condition. If you have custom selected, you can mention here 1 and 2 or 3, something like that. Maybe then and 4. You can add the brackets and everything here. It's not like just I'm saying here, but you can have multiple conditions like this, 1 or 2 or 3, something like you have 4 conditions, and you don't need to worry about this numbering. Whatever your conditions you are creating there, right now I'm saying any one condition from that is true, then run this particular price rule, product rule. I'm always taking the name of price rule. Okay, so any one condition from here is running, then run that. And don't worry about the number. What is the number there, right? Whatever the condition is first, this first condition is one number, second condition is two number. Don't worry about this 001, 1 2 3 4. What, this is how you need to write the advanced condition as well, 1 or 2 and 3 and so. So I created alert rule now. With this error message you are doing wrong, and with the condition as any. So right now my quotes payment term is net 30, right? Quotes payment term is net 30, so it will fire this particular alert rule. It's just testing purpose, so I'm just giving a scenario. Edit rules, I will be giving real-time scenarios for product rules. So let me add a product, so it will run only on the product. Scope is product, and I'm saying always it should run loading and everything. So if I selected mechanical, okay, the last step I forgot to explain you. I created product rule, I added career conditions, but there is one more step recommended by Salesforce CPQ, that when you want to run product rule, this particular product rule can be run only for the particular bundle or feature. You have this mandatory step, configuration rule. You need to assign this product rule to few products or bundles. So what you need to do, you need to create your configuration rule here every time. So if I click on this, what I did here, I assigned this particular uh, product rule to Norton bundle. So let me assign this to mechanical bundle. So this is mandatory step, otherwise it will not run. You can assign at least for feature or bundle, right? That is the last step. This is recommended. If you're not, I mean not recommended, it's mandatory. If you are not assigning configuration rule for this particular product rule, it will never run for any product. So the mandatory step is you need to create error condition as well as you need to assign to the same product, because product rule, it's product rule, right? It's specific to your product. You should not run this for all the products. So that's the reason I assigned this rule to your bundle, that is mechanical bundle. Okay, we are done with our setup. We are ready to test that. So I'm selecting mechanical bundle. I'm on configuration screen now. Even if I selected anything now here, right? I selected everything. If I click on save, my expectation is my payment term is net 30. So I should get the uh, alert rule here. Please review required configuration attribute of the whole software. Okay. So what's software licenses? This configuration attribute is causing issue. Let me go back to product mechanical bundle. Go to related list. It's mandatory there. Configuration attribute. Okay, let me go there. Okay, we made this required and auto select. Let me save that. Okay, so let me save this again. Cancel and let me come back. Okay, mechanical bundle. If I selected now, it's not mandatory now, right? So if I selected this product and this product, for example, so my expectation is like I'm on this screen, my product rule should fire to alert you that you are doing something wrong. I got it. You can pass your own message and it will alert you. You can continue from here. It's not stopping you, but it's up to you to continue or not. This is just alert for you. But if you change same product rule to validation, the same condition, everything is same. if I'm just changing type validation here, it will give you hard stop. If I cancel this, if I save this record now, it's running product rule and it's showing you hard stop. You cannot go, you cannot save this record, right? So this is my uh, validation as well as alert rule. It's up to your business. You want to do hard stop or you want to just give the warning. Alert means just warning to your business. Are you good on the whatever I'm explaining here? Any questions, confusion, whatever we discussed? 3-step process. You need to create product rule, whatever your scope is, and they need to create error conditions and then to assign it to the particular product. Those are the 3 conditions. Any questions on alert, product rule as well as validation? I think someone posted, right? Nutan posted, for help text on a product, what should we use? Using an alert would be correct approach. For help text on product, I am not getting exactly for help text on product.
For example, Rahul, let's say, see, alert, validation, all this comes into picture after we enter some data, with save or without save, right? I'm
Yes.
asking, let's say, we have some fields on our screen on code line, right? While I'm providing some values for a product, I want my sales rep to know it beforehand what kind of data he needs to enter. For example, product code. Okay. Now, can I tell sales rep beforehand that you need to enter 6-digit code in this field,
Yes,
alphanumeric, right?
that's correct.
Without giving a warning or error.
Yes, that's correct scenario. So if you want, as you mentioned, like any field is like you want, they should populate before they proceed. You can give them alert or validation. It's based on our custom business. Like if it is mandatory for downstream system or anything, you should hard stop them by using creating validation. Otherwise, most of probably, if it is data issue, you can give the alert rules to them.
Yes.
Is it good?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I think you asked another question. What is the recommended value for evaluation event? I'm afraid this field can impact performance based on cost. That's really this really good question. Anyone? That's correct. Your last statement is correct. It will degrade your performance. So you should be more proactive in this case. How you are selecting? Mostly you need to select save. That is the good option. You don't need to go ahead and edit. Once you edit, you don't want to fire that and don't need to do anything. So whenever you are saving, then and then you need to validate this full screen or whole screen. So the a recommended approach or whatever I think is save is the best solution instead of wasting time on editing or anything or loading and anything. Whenever you are saving, you should fire that particular validation or filter rule or selection rule. But there are few cases you are on validation and alert. That's the reason I'm saying save. But there are few cases, for example, selection product rule. You need to run those on edit as well as load as well as always as well. So selection is something you need to run on always because whatever you are selecting, immediately it should be informed about that. You should not wait for the last minute and everything. So there are multiple things, but whatever we discussed today, I will come back to that tomorrow. But validation alert, obviously, it's like save is the best approach we need to follow.
Okay. Thanks, Rahul. I got it.
Okay, so we discussed product rule fields, product action fields. Okay, so both the things are done. Any more questions? Okay. So I don't think like I can cover selection product rule today itself. It's like just 5 minutes, right? So it's already done. So I can't take in 5 minutes. So selection is something very important concept which we need to discuss. And there are some lookup queries as well, as I mentioned. So let's start with selection product rule from Monday onwards. So Monday, same time, same link, we can start on selection product rule. Tomorrow, hopefully, I will give some assignment to you. I'm not sure first assignment you got from Sheetal or not. Can you guys confirm first 4 assignment or not it?
We got the PPT, but not
Yes,
a separate email address.
yeah, PPT. I mean, in PPT we have all the assignment. There is one PPT with CPQ assignments with four. There are only 4 slides in that PPT. If you can check that,
So
in that
we
we have.
got two PPT. We got two PPT. One is Salesforce CPQ basics, and another is
Mhm.
product configuration.
So when you got that
This
yesterday,
was
when
this
we
is on
started
Google
it,
Drive. Yesterday, actually, I couldn't join. My internet connectivity was an issue, but
2 days
this
back we got it, Raghu.
sorry, only 2 PPTs, right?
Yeah, only two PPTs. That only 2 days back we got it, but the assignment PPT we didn't get yet. I mailed Sheetal yesterday, but I didn't get any reply from her.
I think Sheetal is busy. Even I called today. She has some, I mean,
Rahul,
functioning.
is it possible for you to share your email ID, I mean Gmail ID or something directly with all of us, and you can send us that assignment or screenshot of it?
They are not allowing me, frankly. But let me
Mm.
check with her if it is
But other
possible.
trainers, I mean, other trainers, they
Yes.
do.
Let me check with Sheetal. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I don't have any concern. Only the thing is like I need to check with Sheetal, and then maybe we can create at least one generic email ID, right? Even Sheetal can use and I can use them. At least you can post your questions, all the PPTs I can send
Right,
from
that's
my
what
side.
I had written to Sheetal other day. If you remember last week, I was discussing this point. So I
Okay.
dropped an email to her, but I didn't get any response till now.
Yeah. So
Mm.
that is let's see like